Good morning again, grade 5s.
Morning, teacher.
Welcome back to our science and technology lesson.
Morning, teacher.
Morning. Welcome back to our science and technology lesson. And our topic is diseases and prevention. Topic 3, diseases and prevention. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
are starting with harmful gut worms. Harmful gut worms. But before we do that, can you please name the parasitic diseases that you know and that we have learned about last time in our last lesson? Yes, Tawana?
Fungi. Fungi.
Okay, the diseases, parasitic diseases.
HIV.
Tawana, is that what we did last week? Was it last week or on Monday? We're finishing up. We started these parasitic diseases last week and finished them on Monday. Yes, Andy.
Kwashioka. Kwashioka.
Yes, kwashioka. Are those the parasitic diseases?
Teacher, I do not do any parasitic diseases.
Okay, you did them in grade 4. It's in grade 4. Sorry, it's in grade 4. You did parasitic diseases in science and technology. Yes, Brave.
Eurasia.
Yes, Eurasia and Vanessa. You are on mute. Unmute, Vanessa.
Malaria.
Yes, and malaria. Do we still have another one?
No.
No.
Okay. So
Cholera.
and
Cholera.
yeah. Okay. Now let's look at the diseases and prevention. Diseases in general, not focusing on parasitic diseases. So we are going to start with harmful gut worms. Harmful gut worms. Yes, and these are parasites. These are parasites. Who can tell me what is a parasite? Who can tell me what is a parasite? You also did parasites in grade 4. Yes, Jaden?
They are germs.
They are?
Germs.
Can you finish up? It's not complete.
Yes.
Yes, Arnold.
Parasites are organisms that depend on food that has been eaten by other organisms.
Yes, they depend. These are organisms that depend on other organisms there. And in terms of food, as we are looking at diseases and prevention. So gutworms, they are parasites. They are parasites. If you are asked to give an example of a parasite, you can also mention gutworms. And they live in the gut, which is also known as what? Intestines.
Intestine.
Yes, of people. So you also have got gutworms there and other animals upon whom they depend. So gutworms that live in people's intestines are tapeworms, roundworm, and so can you look at the tapeworm there? The tapeworm that we have on page 14. So these fall under guts, the tapeworms and also the roundworms. Can you see them?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
On page what, teacher?
Page 14, Tadio. Okay, so these are found in intestines of people and animals. So which means they depend on the food that the people of the animals eat. Then the symptoms. What are the symptoms of gutworm infection? How do you see that you have got gutworm infection? Yes, Arnold?
People infected with gutworms become hungry soon after eating food.
Yes. So people who have got these worms, they feel hungry soon after eating food and they always want to eat because where would the food be going to? Why do
The
they?
To
gutworms.
the worms.
Yes, to the worms, they would have eaten the food. Okay, number 2. Number 2, yes, Jaden?
A stomachache.
Yes, can we have what is in the book, Jaden? Can we have what is on page 14 then, our number 2 on page 14? Yes, Nicholas?
They often suffer from diarrhea.
Yes, they often suffer from diarrhea. So if you start feeling these signs and symptoms, you can visit a doctor so that they check if you don't have gutworms there. Look at that girl on page 15. She's suffering from gutworm infection there. That's why maybe she's holding a stomach. Okay, number 3.
Yes, teacher.
3.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Watermelon.
Teacher.
They suffer from abdominal pain.
Abdominal, yes, abdominal pains. Yes, abdominal pains is in the stomach there. They feel abdominal pains. And number 4, so JJ,
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
you were right when you say that stomach pains, although they are called abdominal pains. Okay, Tawana.
They often vomit.
Yes, so they also vomit. They often vomit. Yes, Tadiwa.
And
And what else?
if they've survived weight loss.
Severe is severe, Tadiwa, which means serious. They have severe weight loss. So they lose weight severely. And number 6.
No.
Number 6, what else do they have? Arnold.
Blood-stained feces. Sometimes segments of worms can be seen in the feces of an infected person.
Hey, can you see how serious it is? That
Yes.
yes, you have
Yes, ma'am.
blood-stained feces, and sometimes you can see some segments of worms there. Wow, hey, this is a serious thing. Okay, and then number 7. Number
Yes,
7.
teacher. Yes, teacher.
Yes, Jaden, I can't see you. Jaden. Okay, Jaden, tell us.
Slow stunted growth in children.
Yes, slow or stunted growth in children. They are just thin and they grow slowly. The way they look, it's less than their age there. And number 8, Otumel.
Loss of appetite, unwilling to eat.
Loss of appetite and willing to eat. So there are so many symptoms of gutworm infection there. So many. So when we are saying gutworms, I said we are including 3 worms there: the tapeworm, roundworm, and also flukes or flax. Okay, so if you start feeling these symptoms, you can visit the doctor because something is wrong in your stomach there. And how do they enter these worms? I hope you were also wondering. Can you see how long they are? And how do they enter into your body? How do they enter the body there? Okay, people are getting frozen and coming back, frozen and coming back. Okay, the same hands, the same hands. Others, please. Nicholas. Nicholas is frozen. Nicholas. Okay, Wotumelo.
Gutworms infect people through eating contaminated, uncooked food or undercooked
Yes,
food.
do you get that? Do you get that?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
contaminated food, or even what, uncooked food. The food that is supposed to be cooked and then you eat it uncooked there, and undercooked, which means it is not really cooked. Akuvutwanga. So you end up getting these. They get into your stomach or into your body through that. And number 2, how else do they enter? Arnold. Arnold.
Gutworms infect people who drinking untreated,
Would
contaminated.
drink, there's a mistake there.
Gutworms infect people who drink untreated, contaminated water that has not been boiled.
So we are supposed to boil our water before you drink it so that you can kill these worms. Do you get it? If you
Yes.
just
Yes, ma'am.
drink water from a river, a dam that is contaminated there, and then you end up allowing these worms to get into you. Okay, number 3. Number 3,
Yes, teacher.
Jaden.
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
Through eating unwashed raw fruit and vegetables.
So every time you wash your fruits, wash your vegetables first before you eat. Before you eat them, make sure you wash them under running water. Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And lastly,
Yes, teacher.
last symptom, Tadiwa.
Eating food with unwashed hands can also result in gutworm infection.
Eating food with unwashed hands. Some people, when they see food, they just quickly take the food and put it in their mouth without washing their hands. So this is how gutworms enter into your body there. So there are 4 things that we have discussed, how gutworms enter into your body there. Then now let's look at the ways of controlling gutworm infection. I'm sure it is clear there. Is the opposite of what we were discussing on how they enter into your body there. So just do the opposite of that, and that is eating properly cooked food instead of eating half-cooked food or uncooked food there. And then number 2, always wash your hands thoroughly in clean water before eating food. We discussed it up there. And then you also need to wash fruits thoroughly in clean water before also eating, and avoid using bush toilets. Avoid using bush toilets for relieving yourself. This encourages the spread of gutworms. So this one, it encourages the spread, because if you do your job there in the bush, you are leaving also some gutworms in those feces of yours. And improve hygiene conditions at home and also at school. Okay, and then we have got a demonstration of how to wash your hands before eating food. Okay, can you tell me how this person is washing there? That proper way of washing your hands, can you see it?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, can you describe what is happening there? Yes, Tawana?
She is washing hands using soap and water.
Yes, using soap and water, and that is running water, isn't it? That is running
Yes.
water.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you don't have a tap, you can use a cup. Someone can be pouring the water, and that's running water, isn't it? Rather than washing your hands in a dish. You get me?
Yes,
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 ma'am.
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 Yeah, so
Yes,
we
ma'am.
touch and handle so many things with our hands. Some of the things we handle with our hands could be contaminated, and that's why even these days you are encouraged to sanitize your hands after some time, so as to kill germs, because the things that we touch, you can touch a handle of a car as you are getting into the car. You can touch even when you were at school, were refusing you to touch the staircases there, because a lot of people would have touched that. They are contaminated, so you are not supposed to touch things there. Or if you do, you have to wash your hands with running water and also with soap, or you should sanitize your hands. So contamination is pollution or presence of unwanted material there. We should wash our hands thoroughly with running water before eating food using our hands. Use disinfectant soap to wash your hands so that bacteria is killed. That's the reason why we use that. And avoid washing your hands in a dish, like what I have said, where water is stagnant there. And running water will help to wash away the dirty. Where there is no tap, pour water from a cup or jug, like what I said. Okay, and then when should we wash our hands? When should we wash our hands? Quickly, before we go. Yes, Botumelo.
We should wash our hands every time we come from the toilet.
Yes,
Make sure we keep your toilet clean.
yes, the toilets should also be kept clean. And every time you visit the toilet, after visiting the toilet, wash your hands. Yes, Nicholas.
Also wash your hands before eating.
Yes, and also even when you are not eating, also wash your hands, because if they are dirty or if they are contaminated and you squeeze your eyes there or you touch your mouth, you can also catch some diseases. Okay, so this is it about diseases and prevention. How do we prevent the diseases, especially caused by parasites? Okay, have a nice day. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Teacher.
Wow.
Bye-bye.
Teacher, do you have a lesson?
Yes.
Table, check your timetable. Tandekile is there on the group. And I think she sent a message yesterday. Can you check? Bye-bye.